Hey everybody, this is Kevin here with Ken Sewing Center in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. In this video, I want to give you an in-depth tutorial on the Elna EF72. Elna is a name that's owned by Janome. This is made by Janome. If you've seen the Janome Craft 6650, this is the identical machine to it. So anything you see referencing either one, they're going to be compatible with both. We have a super buy on the EF72, so do compare it and you'll see the savings. The EF72 comes in this pretty mint green color. It is a really pretty machine, but this is a very durable machine. The entire bed of this machine is a seamless metal bed. So your fabric is not going to hang anywhere. It's smooth. For your free motion, your fabric will glide across this. From our needle to the inside, the sewing arm is 10 inches. So we have all this room. It's very comfortable sewing at this machine. And notice how the entire bed of the machine has LED lighting. It's fully illuminating the entire bed of the machine. Threading is a breeze on this machine. If you'll notice, we have the larger spool stand. It holds 2 of your larger cones of thread. We all know we get the larger cones of thread, you save money. When you do have 2 of those, you can stage threads on this particular machine. Threading is very simple on the F72. All my guides are right here, and everything's going to be channeled for me all the way down to my needle, making it real easy to get in my tension. I do have a built-in needle threader on the machine, so that makes it really easy for me threading that needle, but it threads front to back. It takes a standard HAX1 needle system. That's an extremely common needle system. We carry all the different sizes available and all parts and accessories for the F72. This machine will have the top drop-in bobbin system on it, so I can see my bobbin at any given time and know when I'm going to run out. It takes the standard 15 class A style plastic bobbin. On the bobbin cover and also on my needle plate, I do have markings, so I can use that for seam allowances, but it also has a place right here that I can actually screw in a metal seam gauge. You can also use magnetic seam gauges on these, and we carry those as well. The F72 has a lot of computer controls built onto it on the front of the machine, and we'll zoom in a little closer here in just a minute, but I can operate the bobbin separately from the machine, so I can be sewing and actually wind bobbins at the same time, so that cuts down a lot of time. I do have an elongation feature on a lot of my decorative stitches. I can blow that stitch up to 5 times from normal stitch length. Now the F72 does a 9mm width on my decorative stitches. That's the same as the top of the line, and that's what the company is focusing on, is these top of the line type machines with the 9mm stitch width. It will come with a lot of accessories already, but there's a lot of accessories available for this machine, so you're not going to outgrow it anytime soon. I also have twin needle stitches built into the machine. There's several modes on it. I can easily go back and forth from the different modes. Our mode 1 has 10 stitches, mode 2 will have 13 stitches, mode 3 has 172 stitches, and then I also have alphabets for doing monogramming. I can go all the way up to that 9mm width, which is going to be a little bit taller than 1/4 inch. So it does stand out very well. I can do things and set things on the hard drive of the machine. You're not going to erase anything off the hard drive, but if I need to darken my screen or do different things too, if I want to cut the beeper off, I can do that so it doesn't make any noise. I will have the built-in scissor. I can snip that thread at my beck and call. You'll be surprised how many times we grab our scissors and snip threads. I have that built in on the machine. It will have needle up, needle down. There's times I want my needle to stop in the fabric if I'm doing applique, or if I get to the end of a seam and I want to turn a corner. That's going to make your garment look so much prettier on top. With that, it's just going to be like seamless, going in a 90° or 45° angle. But there's times I'm going to want my needle to stop out of the fabric, so I make sure I don't leave the needle in there and jerk my fabric. I could, tear a hole in my fabric or break the needle. I will have the auto lock feature. Auto lock is such a nice feature to have on a machine, because what it's going to do, it ties the stitch off underneath, so that's hidden and out of the way. With traditional mechanical machines, you don't have that feature. All you have is reverse, and when you've done a back tack, you can see that on top. We won't have to worry about that anymore with the EF72, because as soon as I hit auto lock, it'll tie that stitch off underneath, so it's hidden and out of the way. But I still will have traditional reverse if you do want it. Now the EF72 does come with an electronic foot control that regulates the speed of the machine Just like your car, the harder you press your gas pedal, the faster the machine goes. Same way on this machine. But I can also back that down. I do have a slider here that will override my foot control. So if even I have it pressed all the way down, it still will not go too fast. So if you're a beginner, or if you're working on an extremely delicate project, or you have an expensive piece of material, you might want to back that down till you get used to the speed of the machine. If you don't want to use your foot control, I do have start stop, and I can just use that to power the machine or turn the machine on and off. Another great feature about the EF72 is the presser foot lift on this machine. Now you will have a knee lift place right here for a knee lift to go. That is an optional attachment. You can get those. Ken Sewing carries those, but you do already have that built into the machine. This will balance my buttonhole. So if I have one side of my buttonhole, and you do get the one-step buttonholes, there's several of them built in to the machine up here. I can regulate that if something happens to be off. That's really easy to do. We can talk you through that over the phone should you have need of that. But I rarely have customers actually having to use that, but that is a nice feature to have if you're into doing that. I can raise my presser foot up more than one time. At first I have step one. That's really nice. A lot of machines that's on the market makes you keep your hand on the lever to keep that presser foot up because it's spring loaded. I can actually stop it right here to pull my fabric out or do whatever I want to do. But look at here, I have extra high lift under my presser foot. I can take my hand off of it. I can get thick materials if you're into quilting, if you're sewing multiple layers of denim, whatever it may be. You're going to be able to get that under that foot and not have to keep your hands here. But if you use that knee lift and do get that attachment, you can use your knee to raise and lower the presser foot. This machine has the nicer feed dog system on it. It is a 7-point feed dog. This is a very long and wide feed dog. So the more surface area I have touching my fabric, it keeps my fabric flat while that needle's penetrating the garment. So it reduces puckering. For thicker materials, the more surface area I have touching my fabric, the better off I am. It helps to feed that fabric through without skewing it, I guess, or bunching it up or wadding it up. If you ever run into your stitches skipping, sometimes on multiple layers you're getting a fabric shift, you can get a walking foot. Now we will be including that as a bonus on the EF72 just for purchasing that from us, so you will get that attachment. Normally doesn't come with it. From my needle to the inside of the sewing arm, again, it's 10 inches, so I've got plenty of room to work with for doing my free motion. I don't have to have any screws here to take my needle plate off. There's a button right here that I push, and it'll pop my needle plate out if I want to put the straight stitch plate, and it does come with the straight stitch plate. Now the nice thing about this machine, once I put the different plates on it, the machine is smart. It knows what needle plate I have on the machine, and I have a mode just for that. If I was to have the straight stitch needle plate on, automatically I'll be in this mode here. And it knows it, so if I try to do a zigzag, it's going to beep at me. It's not going to let me do it. But the straight stitch plate also has another hole that I can hit a button. It moves the needle over 1/4 inch to give me my 1/4 inch seam allowance. That's something you don't get on many machines that's on the market. So that's a big bonus of having the EF72 and being able to move that over for 1/4 inch seam allowances. It makes sewing and quilting, and that's the number one thing quilters want, is a 1/4 inch seam allowance. There also is a ruler across the front. It goes up to 16 inches so for those quick measurements. I've got the adjustable pressure here, and I can see how much pounds I've got pressing down onto my presser foot. So for lighter weight material, I may want to back that off somewhat. And I can easily do that by turning this counterclockwise. If I'm doing heavier materials, I want to make sure I've got a good firm on my presser foot touching my material. I can put more pressure on it, and then I'm ready to start sewing. Let's zoom in. I want to show you this 3.6 inch computer screen, all the information on it, show you all of the computer controls on the front, and then we'll do a little bit of sewing. The EF72 is laid out very nice. You don't have to push a lot of buttons to get to where you want to go. There is a lot of information, but it's so easy to see on my screen everything about the machine. First of all, the machine will have a manual tension on it, and that's nice to have. You're really going to have to adjust your tensions for any type of material that's out there. 99% of your material If you keep your setting between 4 and 5, you're not going to have a problem whatsoever. If you do run into a question or having a problem before you do any adjustments, just pick up the phone, give us a call, be sitting in front of your machine. You will get our premium support package with your purchase. Now, the first thing it showed me what mode that I'm in. So I can go over here and touch this button, go to mode 2, and then I can go to mode 3, so on and so forth. And the machine will show you on the placard that comes with it what stitch that you're on for the things that you are doing. Now let's look at all the computer controls on the EF72. This machine is laid out very easy. All my buttons are right here in front of me at eye level. My length and width knobs are right here. I can easily move that over now. This machine is very precise. I can adjust my stitch length and stitch width settings in tenths of a millimeter. And remember, you can go 9 millimeters wide on most of the stitches on this machine. Now there will be default settings, default stitch length and stitch width settings on every stitch on the machine. It lets me know what mode that it's in. You will get the little placard that comes with the machine so you can see exactly what stitch you're on for each mode. So let's go into mode number 2, which will have most of our stitches that's on it, and we're going to just do an applique stitch. So I want to show you a few things about what this machine will do. The first thing you'll notice, it shows me a picture of the presser foot that they recommend that you have on the machine. And all the presser feet have letters indented into them, so you know exactly which presser foot you need to get to put on the machine. It will give me the suggested tension settings. Now here's what I'll tell you about tension. You do have the manual tension on this machine. It is not a finicky tension at all. If you leave your tension between 4 and 5, you're going to be able to sew 99% of all the garments that's out there. I rarely run into issues with any tension on these machines. However, if you have a problem with any kind of tension, any problem with the machine, all you need to do is be sitting in front of your machine, pick up the phone and call us and speak with a technician. You do get our premium support package with your purchase. We have 5 technicians here 6 days a week to help you with any question that you have need of. Now on the EF72, you do have an independent bobbin winder motor on this machine. I can actually wind bobbins while I'm sewing. We do have an elongation feature on it for the decorative stitches. It will actually blow that stitch up 5 times from the original. I can go in on the machine and set things on the hard drive. You're not going to erase anything off the hard drive by doing that. There are memory banks on it. If you're doing a certain monogram, a letter, a sentence, whatever, you can save that on the machine. Here's my length and width settings. Now on the screen itself, it'll show me in tenths of a millimeter. So if I change the width, it's changing it in a tenth of a millimeter. Notice right here. So that is very precise to have on a machine. If we go to our stitch length, it'll do the same thing. The machine shows me that my feed dogs are up. We can easily drop the feed dogs. There's a lever on the right hand side of the machine that allows us to drop the feed dog on the machine. Now I do have the ability to page over on certain things, so it has a lot of things built in, but it's so easy to operate. You will have the speed slider here to override the speed of the machine. I've got the scissor for snipping our thread, needle up, needle down, the auto lock, reverse, and here is my start stop button. So if I don't want to use my foot control, I don't have to. And that's just how easy this machine is, but it does so much. It's a very powerful machine, but you're gonna have a good time with it, no doubt in my mind. So let's do a little bit of sewing on the EF72 and show you just what you can do with this awesome machine. The EF72 has a powerful motor located right in here in the housing of the machine. Now, this machine can consistently sew 8-10 layers of denim, garment grade leather. Your quilters, you will really love this machine for your bottom, batting. Doesn't matter if you're doing wall hangings all the way up to quilts with thicker batting in them, it's going to be able to handle it. If you ever want to get to the point you want to use this machine on a quilting frame, there's all kind of frames available. We carry those. Stitch regulation available, automation available. We carry everything that's made for this machine for you quilters, because the throat space being so big on this machine, that might be your next purchase. We recommend get the machine, learn the machine, take baby steps into it. Once you start using the machine, you're going to have ideas come to you. That's when you call us. That's when we maximize your value. You don't buy something you don't need. We don't want to sell you something you don't need. We want to help you find what you're looking for and what you want to have fun doing. If you're happy, we're happy. So I can raise that presser foot up and get my pressure foot at the highest level. Here I've got a good heavy denim grade material. I'm going to sew 2, 4. This is 8 layers of denim. I'm going to show you the power of this machine, how the top drop-in bobbin with the 7-point feed dog system, it's going to crawl down onto different materials from extremely heavy to, say, lighter weight cotton to a stretch material, and I'm not going to have to adjust any tensions. I won't have any puckering whatsoever. And I can get that fabric right underneath that presser foot. I'm going to lower it down. Now, just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go back and just do a straight stitch on the machine. Now I'm ready to go. I've got it a decent stitch length, and here we go, we're going to start sewing. Now it's going to crawl from that 8 layers of denim all the way down to this lighter weight cotton. It's not going to compromise the stitch quality. This is where a lot of machines you'll be having duck's nest, it wadding up, stitches breaking, not on the EF72. And then I'm going to show you in just a second how fast the machine and just how it purrs right along. If you'll notice the weight of the machine, it's not hopping around on me. When I get to the end of my seam, I'm going to hit that auto lock, and it's going to tie that stitch off underneath so that stitch is tidy and I don't have to worry about it coming out. I'm going to hit my scissor, it's going to snip that bobbin and the top thread for me. And I went from extreme heavy to a cotton to a stretch material, and there's no puckering whatsoever on this particular material. Ken Sewing Center is your authorized Elna dealer. We carry all models, all parts, and all accessories. You will get our premium support package with your purchase today. We have 5 full-time technicians. We're here 6 days a week to help you. I have other salespeople and educators that can help you with any kind of question you have. Just be sitting in front of your machine and give us a call. We want to help you. We want you having a good time with what you purchased from us here today. We have more information on the website for order. We've got a special buy going with bonus kits right now on the EF72, but supplies are limited. Pick up the phone and call us, or check it out on our website. We will have the SKU number for you below.